Good morning. Uh, I wish all the new young advocates who enrolled yesterday. I saw very young budding advocates. I wish them all. For them, apart from that, basically the Constitution of India gives certain fundamental rights. That rights commences from Article 12. Article 12 speaks about authority, who has to protect your fundamental rights, who should not infringe your fundamental. Article 13 in two parts. Number one, the prevailing acts before constitution, and part 2 deals with the acts proposed to be passed after coming into force of Constitution of India. Then Article 14, 15, 16 are correlated. That deals with equal rights, equal protection of law, no discrimination, no refusal of access to any place in the name of caste, creed and other things. Here, still these fundamental rights are subject to certain measurement of restriction. So for Article 14, 15, 16 are concerned, that rights can be denied to particular section of people, or may be discriminated in extending favoritism that section of by breaching equality. So there must be reasonable classification. So the reasonable classification is subjected to Article 14, 15, 16. Then Article 19. Article 9 says freedom rights. That rights is subject to reasonable restriction. One can express his views, but that should not offend others. All these things are there. You should have this in your mind, that this Article 19 is subject to reasonable restriction. Then Article 21. Article 21 says right to live. That right to live have been expanded, interpreted in a large scale. There are multi-number of volume of books dealing with Article 21. That Article 21 is subject to due process of law. That is most important. To understand this judgment, this reasonable classification, I would like to refer a judgment of Supreme Court, wherein the Supreme Court has categorically stated whether this sort of reasonable classification is valid in law. AR 2021, Supreme Court 4611, Chandan Banerjee and Krishna Prasad Ghosh and others. So, in order to challenge any act, any bill, or any notifications, whatever it may be, the everything circular, everything is stated under Article 13. 13 deals with that subject. All you can challenge that. While challenging, you should keep in mind that the Article 14, 15, 16, Article 19, Article 21 is infringed or not. Then you have to understand this judgment to challenge whatever may be the law defined as per Article 13. Constitution of Chandan Banerjee vs. Krishna Prasad Ghosh. Article 16 and 14. Promotion, eligibility, post of supernumerary appointment of assistant engineer. Differentiations on basis of educational qualification. Persons drawn from common source who integrated into cadre can be differentiated on the basis of educational qualification for purpose of promotion to superannuary post. This is what they say. Court cannot decide higher educational qualification which fulfill object of management as long as nexus between education qualification and the need for higher efficiency is not observed, irrational or arbitrary. So reasonable classification between persons must not produce artificial inequalities. Classification must be founded on reasonable basis and must be a nexus to object and purpose sought to be achieved to pass muster of Article 14 and 16. That is, you should keep in your mind. Therefore, I will take you this judgment. So, another my humble request is the Honorable Division Bench has issued direction not to circulate the recently viralized video wherein an advocate was in a different behavior while court proceedings are on. But unfortunately, still I saw same circular periodically circulated. See, I request you, see, this is matter between that particular advocate and the division bench. They are so much to take an action. Why unnecessarily you entangle into by circulating or forwarding it? Actually, what had happened when first bench, division bench, Mr. Justice Kishan Kaul was there, Sanjay Kishan Kaul. A warrant went to evict certain persons. Unfortunately, two young advocates who did not even secure All India Bar examination, considering that they are socially responsible because they are residing in a downtrodden area, went and obstructed. Unfortunately, they were called by Rule Nisi to answer criminal contempt. However, the judge even passed a 6-month conviction on them. That time I went and appeared for them and I persuaded the judge. Finally, I am able to convince the judge that your lordship is grandfather of young advocates, parties. Therefore, kindly consider it. Thereafter, he reconsidered the punishment and allowed them to different punishment like attending the training classes under me, and one social worker who was directed to help the Adi Dravida hostel at Washermanpet area next to my house. But this is what I say, why unnecessarily you should be very caution about what is practically happen. You may have and go and ask what is actually, if they inform something, it is better to take a back step rather in still resisting and showing your bravery. Here is also a case. My humble request is, once a court passes an order, until that order is set aside or withdrawn or recalled, we must obey. Every citizen should obey. Therefore, kindly do not forward, and if anybody forwarded, don't re-forward it to your friends. And there is possibility, if you happens to be an advocate, then it is very difficult to give explanation why unnecessarily we trouble ourselves for others' fault. If something is a common and general issues, we can fight. After all, fighting tendency against something stuck our mind, that it should be resisted. It's a different thing. But my humble request is, kindly concentrate on your profession. I request all young advocates at least spend a few hours before the court, any court. Initially, you may feel uneasy to understand the words and the procedures, the representations of the other advocates. Slowly, you can pick up that and try to present before the court where the advocates are few in number, wherein you can keenly watch with something noting. The judges may concentrate on you, call you, and engage you if they require some advocate commissioner or anything, amicus curiae, etc. It shows your behavior. Kindly spend a few hours before the courts. That's all. Best wishes.